Hey guys, Scott here with SJC Fit. So in today's Q&A video, I kind of wanted to go over one of the questions that I've been seeing semi-frequently with some of my clients. And so I decided that it was a pretty prevalent question that could probably be used by a lot of the audience watching this video. And that question was, how do you maintain a healthy lifestyle while also having friends? Because let's face it, from the black and white picture, it sounds like what you do is you meal prep one day a week and you simply eat those meals at your own house or wherever at work, on the go. You never really get a chance to go out and spend time with friends or even family, like say going out to a restaurant. And I kind of wanted to debunk that myth because that's not entirely true. Now, unfortunately, there is some truth to eating out and that being unhealthy for you. It can be hazardous, but there are tips and tricks that I utilize every single day and that I teach my clients that you can go ahead and take with you so that you can maybe not take a step backwards when you go out to eat with your friends. So tip number one would be, when you go out to eat, make sure it's planned. Make sure it's scheduled ahead of time with your friends. Make sure your friends are aware that you're trying to better your life. You're trying to eat healthier. You're trying to lose some extra weight. And hopefully as friends, they should respect that. So schedule a time ahead in advance on which restaurant you're going to go. And from there, what you'll do is most every restaurant has their menu online. So what I'll do before I go out, maybe a day before or a couple days before I go out to eat, especially when I've already eaten a meal. Don't do this while you're starving, because when you do this, it's like going to the grocery store when you're starving. You want to buy everything on the shelf. Make sure you do this when you've eaten already. So go ahead and look at that menu. Most menus and most restaurants have a healthy option. I know Applebee's does. I know Chili's does. A lot of your big chained restaurants generally have a section where either they list off how many calories, fat, maybe protein is in that meal. And they also will list maybe some other options. Some restaurants may just list healthier options. And so utilize that. And now knowing what you know about health, being eating anything that is naturally made, try to avoid anything that is man-made. Avoid that. So a lot of the times when you're dealing with man-made foods, there's a lot of chemicals and a lot of things that generally cause a lot of obesity and causes a lot of health issues. So try to avoid eating anything that might be grains, anything that might milk, dairy. Granted, dairy is not man-made, but try to avoid eating things that aren't naturally pulled from the ground. And from there, choose your foods ahead of time. Know exactly what you're going to get. So knowing that tip number two is when you arrive, make sure you ask your waitress for water. Avoid any kind of pop, any kind of alcoholic beverage. You don't want this to be your cheat meal unless it is planned out to be your cheat meal. Make sure you are avoiding any sugary beverages or any beverages that might harm your nutritional plans for that week. Knowing that, drink as much water as you can. Water actually will fill you up over time. So even if you are hungry when you go into the restaurant, you drink enough water, that'll start flushing things through and it'll actually feel more full, which will be great when you do get your meal sent to the table. So having that in mind, when you order your food, make sure you order your food exactly to your liking. Now, no waitress or waiter out there is going to say no to you asking for asparagus instead of rice. That's just not, unless they don't have asparagus at the restaurant, ask for a healthier option, side option. They'll generally do that for you. A lot of the times, unless they don't have asparagus, broccoli or something, they're going to have some sort of vegetable. Make sure you just do a vegetable instead of fries, do a vegetable instead of rice, mashed potatoes, anything like that. Try to avoid those types of foods and really try to make your choice as healthy as possible. So the next tip after that would be when the food arrives, go ahead and ask your waitress or waiter for a to-go box. Now, the reason I say that is because when the food arrives, what you can do is go ahead and half your meal. Take half of the meal and put it in your to-go box. That way you can prevent yourself from overeating, prevent yourself from stuffing food into your stomach and then regretting it 10 minutes after you eat. So that one is actually extremely helpful. I do that on a regular basis on top of the water. Another thing, kind of a weird thing, but it really does make a difference. When you're eating your food, make sure you chew. I know that sounds really silly, but honestly, it makes a big difference. A lot of the times, the saliva in your mouth actually has enzymes and certain chemicals that break down your food and kind of help utilize your body absorb all of those nutrients. So as you're chewing your food, your teeth and your mouth and your saliva, it is actually part of the digestive process. So make sure you're chewing your food and you're absorbing as much nutrient from that food as you can. But when you chew your food once or twice and you try to eat as fast, you see people inhale their food. A lot of the times, one, you're gonna get a stomach ache. Two, you're gonna overeat. And three, you're not taking advantage of the food. You're not fully breaking that food down. So make sure you're chewing your food. I wouldn't suggest trying to count in your head how many times you're chewing per bite, but try to shoot for 10 bites per scoop or per portion that you put in your mouth. Now, like I said, I know that sounds absolutely ridiculous, but I am telling you that really does make a difference. Another thing, in the middle of your meal, while you're still consuming water, stand up for a break. You know, tell your friends or family, hey, I have to go use the restroom really quick. Walk up, stand up, walk around, go to the bathroom, or just walk outside. I don't know. Don't leave. Of course, pay for your bill. But make sure you get up and you walk around. A lot of the times when you're sitting like this, and you're trying to digest your food will sit right here. So if you can get up, move around, your body will start digesting the food a little bit more, and it'll get your brain to thinking that that you're full. And that will help prevent you from overeating. So those are a few tidbits of advice that I like to give my clients. These are tidbits of advice that I give on a regular basis. And so I hope that helps you. This is just one of those things that is evidence that you do not need to quit your social life when you are trying to create a healthier nutritional lifestyle. So that is my tip for the day. This is Q&A Wednesday, and I hope this helps. We'll see you in the next video. All right. Have a good night.